So I have all these relics just sitting here that have just sit here for years. He had a boat that he was restoring. We had a camper that we were working on, and we used to go camping with the kids. Those are the plans we had. And then, you know, things just changed in an instant. Well, Humberto always had a desire in his heart to give back to his community, and he thought about the military actually, and then decided to be a North Carolina State Highway Patrol officer, and he loved his job. We were high school sweethearts. The first time I saw him, I just knew he was it, and we've been married 30 years. On November 23rd, 2009, I had gone into work and I got a phone call. He was on the interstate and he was rear-ended at 75 miles an hour. The impact and the spin caused a severe traumatic brain injury, and the man that left that day did not come home.
My name is Humberto Reina. I am a survivor of North Carolina State Highway Patrol, and I had a hard time with this, my head, whatever it's doing there. I cannot get comfortable. It's just, I had to fight all the time. I've never been in hell, but it sounds like it's hell.
You hear on TV that they have non-life-threatening injuries. And yes, they are alive, but they're not the people that they used to be. And they have to rebuild new lives from the beginning. And when there's no supports to do that, it's very difficult to do. Veterans have figured out that adaptive sports is very therapeutic. But law enforcement had discovered there was nothing in the country for them, so his doctors had to prescribe his care. And so they have actually prescribed adaptive sports for him. I called a lot of veterans groups. Nobody would take him. They wouldn't take him because he wasn't a veteran. He was injured as a law enforcement officer until John.
Well, Humberto has had a tough time, and they were searching for answers, and no one stepped up to help him.
Riding a bike is a sport, and a sport, to me, is very therapeutic. It kind of shifts some from one thing to another one. Positive, because I'm going through so many things. When I ride, it's just me and the bike.
At the time he was injured, we'd been married 20 years. He comes home and we can't even touch him. 4.5 years later, after 3 days of riding, he put his arm around my shoulder and I said, "This is it. This is it."
The idea that he thought that cycling could help him, and then just watch year after year how much different he becomes. And especially now that we're able to adapt and provide to them the technology with the hyperbaric therapy and the brain mappings. As you get healthier, you get happier.
We knew that he had a brain injury, but we didn't have the brain scans. And I actually did not sleep for days when I found out that we were going to get to have the scans, because that's not something we could get on our own. But to be able to actually see the scans was a validation. But also, we have this opportunity to do the hyperbaric oxygen therapy, which we would never have. That's not something we could ever get on our own.
We give hyperbaric oxygen for a variety of medical conditions. When you have injured tissue, dead is dead, it ain't gonna come back. But then you have this gray area, this limbo, where tissues have been injured. If they're not given the extra oxygen, they will continue to deteriorate. So that's why a lot of these head injuries, they start at one point and they just get worse and worse and worse and worse. And these patients are left without anybody giving them any possibility of getting better. And that's the basis of the hyperbaric oxygen. It helps injured tissues get better.
With 15 days of the hyperbaric therapy, he was sitting in the living room and he said, "Hey there." I just took a double take because he said, "Hey there." These are small things. It's huge for the family. What these therapies have given us is a chance.